Okay, so this is Unit 2, 3.536, writing ratios and solving proportions using cross products. That's the same thing as cross multiply. All right, so here are our learning targets here. You guys can go ahead and read through those. And let's get started. So a ratio uses division to compare two quantities. So you can write the ratio of two quantities, A and B, where B is not equal to 0 in three ways. And when that means B cannot be equal to 0, that just means we can't have like 4 over 0. All right, that's never good in our algebra class. We can never divide something by 0. It's not possible. All right, so B, the bottom number here, can never be 0. All right, so let's look at a couple of examples and you'll get an idea what we're talking about. Okay, so example 1 says that a volleyball team plays 14 home matches and 10 away matches. So find the ratio of home matches to away matches. So home is 14 to 10 away matches. So 14 to 10. But remember, it always needs to be written in simplest form. Okay, so I have to reduce that. So I can divide each of these by 2. So that's really going to give me 7 to 5. All right, and I can write that in a couple different ways. I only have to write one of them for my answer, but I also can write it at 7 to 5 or 7 over 5. Any of those are good. All right, so now I want to find the ratio of home matches to all the matches. All right, so my home matches is still 14. And then for all my matches, I want to add those two together. So that's 14 plus 10, which is 24. All right, so now I want to go ahead and reduce that, right? So that is 7 to 12, right? Because I just divided both of these by 2 to reduce it to simplest form. All right, other ways I can write that are 7 to 12 or 7 to 12. All of those are the same. Okay, so you guys go ahead and look at this CD collection for this U-Try and try it and make sure you answer the question through Zaption. Okay, let's go. Okay, so a proportion is an equation that states that two ratios are equivalent. The general form is A over B equals C over D. Okay, and again, neither of these, the denominators, can be 0 because that's no good. All right, so if one of the numbers in a proportion is unknown, you can solve the proportion to find the unknown number. And you guys all should probably know how to do this. This is called the cross product, okay, which is the same as cross multiply, or some of you guys did it, maybe the butterfly method you called it. All right, so let's look at example 3. All right, so it says use the cross product property. So that just means cross multiply. So when I cross multiply, I take these two numbers and I multiply it. So 6 times x, 6x, equals 8 times 15, which is 120. Okay, now I have an equation that you guys can go ahead and solve. So I know I just need to divide each side by 6 to undo that multiplication there. And I get x equals 20. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so the next one, B, is a little different. So whenever I see like an x minus 2, a little expression underneath or on top, I'm going to make sure that I put that in parentheses. All right, just because it's going to help me as I write my equation. So again, I want to do the cross product. So 3 times x equals, and then this one I actually want to go ahead and write out. So 6 times x minus 2. Okay, and the reason I did that is so that I know that I need to distribute. So 3x equals 6x minus 12. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and solve. So I want to get these x's on the same side. Those cancel. On my left, I'm going to have negative 3x equals negative 12. And then divide each side by negative 3. So I should get, I'm going to write it up here, x equals 4. Okay, and I could always remember, plug it in to both of these x's, and I should get a true statement. Alright, go ahead and you guys try those U-tries, and then answer your question in Zaption. Okay, and I'm going to talk about these next ones. Alright, so this is just a little chart that gives us a little bit of an idea about it, setting up proportions. So the question says, a recipe for tomato salsa calls for 30 tomatoes to make 12 pints of salsa. How many tomatoes are needed to make 4 pints? So there's two different ways to set up your equation, but you just need to be consistent. Alright, so here I set it up just how I set it up in my table. I use my tomatoes in one proportion, which was right here, x, for the amount of tomatoes in the small recipe, over 30. So these are both my tomatoes. Alright, and then here I did the pints on the other side of the equal sign. So then I did 4 over 12. Okay, so I have both small recipes up here with tomatoes and pints, and then the large recipe is down here, 30 tomatoes, 12. Okay, the other way would be to set it up by recipe. So up and down I'm going to go recipe. So then the amount of tomatoes in the small recipe, I don't know. So I would call that x over the amount of pints in the small recipe. And over here I would do the number of tomatoes in the large recipe over 12. Alright, just an example. So let's look at a problem on that. Alright, so the elevator takes passengers from the lobby of the John Hancock Center to the observation level, travels 150 feet in 5 seconds. The observation level is located on the 94th floor at 1,029 feet above the ground. So we want to find the time that it takes for the elevator to travel from the lobby to the observation level. Alright, so I know that it travels 150 feet in 5 seconds. So up here is my feet. So on my other proportion, I want to make sure I put the feet on top. 1,029. Okay, and this is my seconds, and these are the seconds that I don't know. So now it's just solving a proportion, okay, by cross multiplying. So 150x equals 1,029 times 5, which equals 5,145. Okay, and then I divide by 150. Which equals 34.3 seconds. Alright, let's look at example 5. Okay, so it takes 3 cups of flour to bake 6 dozen cookies. How many cups of flour are needed to bake 15 dozen? Okay, so 3 cups to make 6 dozen cookies. Alright, and then on my other proportion, since I have my cups up here, I want to make sure that I put my cups up here. So it says how many cups. So that's what I don't know. So that's my x to make 15 dozen cookies. So since dozens are down here, dozens go down here. Okay, now I'm just going to cross multiply. So 6 times x, 6x equals 3 times 15, which is 45. And then I divide each side by 6. So x equals 7.5 cups. Okay, and that's it. So you guys go ahead and try this last U try, and then make sure you answer the question that'll be after that. All right, have a great weekend, guys.